Thank you for taking the opportunity this Lenten season to join your mission and spiritual care team over the course of the next few weeks for a few brief prayers and reflections during this Lenten season. Lent traditionally is a season of preparation, of prayerful anticipation, meant to prepare us through a series of practices, whether it's almsgiving, whether it's fasting, whether it's more intentional prayer and focus in our own lives, to reflect on who God is calling us to be and how we can more faithfully live out the lives that God has called us to. And in a special way, we begin this Lenten season, as we always do, with Ash Wednesday. Ash Wednesday is an opportunity for us to come together as a community and begin to take those first physical steps and make that first physical commitment toward greater conversion in our own lives. Most visibly, this is done through the imposition of ashes. That takes place whether it's in a prayerful service, and often the words that come forward, "Remember you are dust, and to dust you shall return." And while those ashes represent repentance and conversion, they also remind us of our own mortality, of the realities that while we have been given this gift of life, it is something that is fleeting, it is something that is short, it is something that will come and go with time. And yet, this is not reason for us to have cause for despair. For each of us, it's an invitation to reflect more deeply on our own lives and the legacy and the lasting impact that we make. In our healthcare ministry, we see that in an acute way through the patients and the families that we serve. During the pandemic, we have had the opportunity and the privilege to walk with so many folks, some through the last moments of their life, families that may not have been able to be there with their loved ones as they've passed away. And yet, in those significant moments, in being in that privileged moment, we were able to witness in a meaningful way that question of what does it truly mean for us to live our lives? What does it mean for us to leave a legacy and have an impact on those around us? More often than not, when we journey with family members and in our own personal experiences of loss, there are accomplishments that people have had. There may have been accolades that people did or did not have. But those are not the most significant and impacting pieces of a person's life. Often our chaplains, when walking with folks, and our caregivers, will ask the question to someone who's journeying with their loved one, who was that person to you? What did they mean to you? And often we hear about the ways that they were great fathers, the way that they journeyed with others, the way that they truly left a lasting legacy within the lives of the people they've left behind. And so this Lenten season for us, as we reflect on that theme of mortality and the fact that our life is short, it's not something to leave us with a sense of despair, but I think it's an invitation from God, and it's a challenge for each of us to truly reflect more deeply on what is it that our lives say about who we are. What do our lives communicate about what we valued? What do our lives leave behind with the people that, when reflecting on us, say, I am going to live my life in this particular way to honor my loved one that has left me behind? And so, I invite you this Lenten season, use this as a time of preparation, a time of deep reflection, a time for you to think about how are you leaving that lasting legacy with your family members, with your community, and most importantly, on that journey and that pathway with God.